Good morning. Welcome to Inside Talk Show. Inside Talk Show, it's an inside job. I'm Carla Elizondo. Happy Friday. We're continuing the reading of James Allen's book, Out from the Heart. We're on chapter 3, picking up where we left off yesterday. Chapter 3, by the way, is titled Formation of Habit. We've gotten a lot of good lessons from this. If you've missed any, please go back. The full episodes are obviously available on YouTube here, but I post some of these clips on Instagram as well. So we left off, James Allen was describing when a child is learning to write, it is extremely easy to hold the pen wrong. So when a child is learning to write, it's easy to hold the pen wrong and to form his letters incorrectly, but it is painfully difficult to hold the pen and to write properly. So when we're first learning something, it's difficult to hold the pen right and write the letters correctly when we're first starting out with anything. So this is because of the child's ignorance of the art of writing, which can only be dispelled by persistent effort and practice until at last it becomes natural and easy to hold the pen correctly. And it would be difficult, as well as unnecessary, to do the wrong thing. After learning how to do it, it's actually difficult to do it wrong. When you learn how to ride a bike, can you ride a bike wrong? No, you've learned how to ride a bike. It would take a lot of effort and it would be unnecessary to pretend or act like you didn't know how to ride a bike. It is the same in the vital things of mind and life. To think and do rightly requires much practice and renewed effort. So for us to get in the habit of thinking rightly, it takes effort. That's what I've learned, that the more I do this, the easier it gets. But it's hard at first because we're not taught this. So to think and do rightly requires much practice and renewed effort. But the time comes when at last it becomes habitual and easy to think and do rightly. And it's actually difficult, and it's seen altogether unnecessary to do the wrong thing and to think the wrong thing. Just as an artisan becomes, by practice, accomplished in his craft, so you can become, by practice, accomplished in goodness. Sign me up for that. It is entirely a matter of forming new habits of thought. It is entirely about forming new habits of thought. What habits of thought do you have? Where did you pick up them habits of thought? Who taught you how to think the way you think? Somebody did. You picked it up from somewhere. It's unconscious, it's insidious. It just happens over time. Who taught you how to think? Who taught you your habits of thought? Who do you act like? Who do you imitate? Where did you learn how to think? Who taught you? And if you don't know, that's a problem. Then that means you're just taking scraps of whatever's been coming and happening from whoever, wherever. It is entirely a matter of forming new habit of thought. And he whom is right, to whom right thoughts have become easy and natural, and wrong thoughts act. Let me read that again. It is entirely a matter of forming new habits of thought. And he, to whom right thoughts have become easy and natural, and wrong thoughts and acts difficult to do, has attained to the highest virtue, to pure spiritual knowledge. It is easy and natural for men to sin or miss the mark, because they have formed by incessant repetition harmful and unenlightened habits of thought. It is very difficult for the thief to refrain from stealing when the opportunity occurs, because he has lived so long in covetousness and greedy thoughts. Covetous. So it's easy and natural for us to do wrong because we've just formed by repetition these harmful and unenlightened habits of thought. It's very difficult for a thief to resist the opportunity or the urge to steal when the opportunity occurs, because he's just lived so long with covetous and greedy thoughts. It's just in the nature of a person. What's in your nature? What is in your nature? What story, what narrative, what story does your life tell? Look around. Look around where you live. Look around who you surround yourself with. Look around your activities. Look around at your conversations. That is telling you a narrative. It's telling you a story about the quality and the habit of your thought. Birds of a feather flock together. So if you don't like where you're at, if you don't like your results, if you don't like the way you feel, you can change it. You're not doomed. That's the beautiful thing that we've been learning. Our mind is moldable. It's plastic. It can be renewed every day. It should be. So we'll just kind of end with, it's very difficult, but such difficulty does not exist for the honest man who has lived so long with upright and honest thoughts. He has thereby become so enlightened as to wrong, folly, and fruitlessness of theft that even the remotest idea of stealing does not enter his mind. The sin of theft is a very extreme one, and I have introduced it in order to more clearly illustrate the force and formation of habit, but all sins and virtues are formed in the same way. These last two paragraphs are really good. I was like, do I have time? I'm going to do it. Okay, let's finish off. This is the last of chapter 3. Anger and impatience are natural and easy to thousands of people because they are constantly repeating angry and impatient thoughts and acts. Anger and impatience come so naturally to thousands of people because they are consistently repeating angry and impatient thoughts and acts. And with each repetition, the habit is more firmly established and more deeply rooted. That right there. Anger and impatience is natural to so many people because they continue to repeat angry and impatient thoughts and acts. And every time they repeat it, the deeper the roots get. Can you relate? I certainly can. Calmness and patience become habitual in the same way. People who are calm, people who are patient, simply repeat calm and patient thoughts and acts. Calmness and patience can become habitual in the same way by first grasping thought effort, a calm and patient thought. So calmness and patience can become habitual in the same way as negative and impatient ones by first grasping through effort a calm and patient thought and then continuously thinking it and living in it until use becomes second nature and anger and impatience pass away forever, like we talked about yesterday. Let's not focus on the anger and impatience fixing that. That's the problem. We're not going to focus on anger and impatience. That's already there. It's clearly an established thought pattern and an experience we have in our life. We're going to move over to calm and patient thoughts. We're just going to focus on it. So it says, grasp through effort a calm and patient thought. Pick a calm and patient thought and just continuously think in it, live in it until it becomes more natural to you to have these thoughts. And then this anger and impatience, it'll just pass away by lack of attention and effort. It is in this manner that every wrong thought may be expelled from the mind, that every untrue act may be destroyed, that every sin may be overcome. Whatever we are giving our attention, our thought power, our vision to, our energy to, we're putting it on the stage of our mind. We are crowning it with an authority. We feel very strongly about it. That is where we will end up. That is what we will produce. That is what we will print from this printer. Our mind is a printer. What are you printing? Look around. That's what you printed. You know those 3D printers? We're a 3D printer. What are you printing? Look around you. What are you printing? Just take full responsibility for it. You can change. It's easy. It is so easy to remain negative, to focus on problems, to be mean, to be impatient. It's easy because everybody does it. It's free. It's what's given. It's cheap. But it's the finer things of life that you have to pay for, meaning putting effort into it, putting thought, taking the time to get uncomfortable and make those changes. That's when you start living the good life. We all deserve that. We all want it. But we sit around and we're taught, well, I don't have a choice. No, you do have a choice. We all do. But we are so obsessed. We are so obsessed with thinking that we have to shine up the poo, shine up the shit before we can move on to the good. That we have to have a reason and understand completely the next step before we move from where we're at. A lot of people are in relationships and they want to know before they move on what lessons being learned, that kind of comes after. Just leave the shit show and then you figure it out. But people don't trust. They do not trust. They do not have faith in their own wings. They're having faith in the branch. They're having faith in the relationship. We must have faith in our intuition and our gut. And if our gut is saying, this doesn't feel right, I don't want to be here, move. Don't waste time figuring out why. Just move. Have faith that you are getting the guidance to move that is not right for you. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to qualify it to anybody, including yourself. If you are not happy and you don't like it, make a move. People aren't ready for that. People will have an but what about nothing. Life is not guaranteed. Listen to your inner guidance, trust your emotions, trust your feelings, make a move. And if it ended up to be the wrong move, you'll know it. Then you can reroute. But if you just stay where you're at in the stinkiness, you're screwed. Follow your intuition. Make a move. You don't have to know why in the moment. Well, I don't want to move until, I don't feel good, but, I don't want to leave. What if I need proof. I need more information before I make this decision, because where am I going? That's the problem. Just go. Just have faith. That's why we have to get faith and confidence in our own wings, not in whatever branch we're on. Have a wonderful Friday and a wonderful weekend. I will see y'all on Monday.